So welcome to this month's episode of Rewind, the Wine Spooktacular. My name is MJ and I am drinking Chronic Cellars Dead Nuts.
I love it. Alright, hi guys, I'm Sarah and I'm drinking the Freak Show, which is a Cab Sauv.
My name is Kimberly and I'm drinking Chronic Cellars Purple Paradise. And this is a red blend.
I'm Renee and I'm drinking the Phantom Chardonnay.
And we have a special guest this evening. She is our magical mortgage lady and she's also our event SOM specialist this evening.
Yes.
So we're very excited to have Bree Brophy with us from First Rate. So cheers to Bree.
Cheers, ladies. Thanks for having me.
Yes, definitely. Tap and drink.
Oh, I haven't.
The spooky net got in the way.
Okay, do we want to go in a circle and talk about wine?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can do that.
We can start with mine, the Freak Show.
I really love
This one. If I had to describe what I'm tasting, it is very bold and rich, I feel like. Strong. It's a good red. I definitely pair it with like a good steak.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect. So a little bit about Freak Show. There's a lot of wines that are in the Michael David brand. It's a 150-year-old winery. It's in California. The great-great-great-grandparents had actually homestead the land and planted vines and have fantastic wines. They're all fun. They all have creative labels, or they use really creative grapes, things that you would never really hear of. And so Freak Show is a very popular and one that you can find in almost every store cab. And a great one, like you said, to pair it with your steak. So you picked it up perfectly. It's kind of got the black pepper taste to it. It's a good wine.
It is very delicious.
Yeah.
So, Dead Nuts.
Great title.
Can't help it. It's very fruity, and it has like a little bit of a sweet hint to it. And like the bottle says, it couldn't be better. And I'm going to share some of Sarah's steak because I think it would go fabulous with steak.
Absolutely. So both your wine and Kimberly's wine, not to jump ahead, are red blends, and they're made by Chronic Cellars. This is out of Paso Robles, so it's a little bit drier of an area of California. These are predominantly Zinfandel grapes, and so Zinfandel are very bold but very fruity. So when they say like I like a fruit-forward wine, Zinfandel is the one to go with. It's my favorite with steak, and I feel it's best because the tannins. It's not so big on your mouth. It just is easier to drink, and so I love red blends, especially when they're Zinfandel based.
Yep, very easy to drink.
It will be fun to try those two side by side, like
Yes.
just to see what the difference is.
This one is fruity, and it tastes a little. It's for being a fruit-forward wine. It's a little bit on the dry side, but not overly so. It's not going to turn you off because of it.
Right.
Its dryness. But I want like cheesecake with it.
Ooh.
I
Like
love
dessert?
steak,
Okay.
but man, like fruity wines, I really like to have desserts with. When I drink the Freak Show, though, that's definitely my red
Go-to.
meat wine.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. But fruity wines, I like desserts
And
with
cheesecake
them.
would be a good mix with it.
I love cheesecake.
I do too.
You're tugging at my heart right there. So I love Merlots as well, and
yeah.
that's also more of a fruit-forward big red. And I love Merlot with anything that's caramel based. So creme brulee.
Oh,
Yes.
Sometimes
that
it's
would
like
be so
magical,
good.
and you're like, oh,
Yes.
how does that pair? But it just brings out those
Nice
caramel
and
tones,
toasty.
right? Like
Mhm.
just because of the oak barrels it's in, it really is an awesome pairing. So I like that you pinpoint that out because it's unique for people to say I like reds with dessert unless it's like a dessert wine.
Right.
But you can make any wine a dessert wine if you like the wine enough, right? If
And
there's
the
never
desserts.
best.
I have zero problems with all the wines and all the desserts. So
Really.
The one thing we forgot to bring was our corks that we store
Oh,
all of
yeah.
our corks in with all
But
the wine
I'll
that
take
we
it. They're in
draw.
that cup.
They
Oh,
are.
there we
We're
go.
going to
Get
start
started there.
a new pile. That
Yes.
was getting too full over the summer.
So speaking of creme brulee, so Kimberly and I were at the Realtor Conference in Homer a couple
Uh-huh.
years ago, and the Broken
couple
Oar.
weeks
A
ago.
couple
Wow.
weeks ago.
Years now.
I knew what you meant.
I swear I've only had one glass of wine.
I don't know.
The bottle's still this full. So a couple of weeks ago, and we went to the Broken Oar, which is a fabulous oyster bar,
It's
and he
amazing.
makes a homemade creme brulee, and he actually gets the torch out and torches it and that would go fabulous with his creme brulee.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Because of that caramelized sugar is caramel. And so anything that has that fruit forward is going to just be amazing.
Yeah.
So, no. Good.
What are you drinking?
Alright, so it's the Phantom, and I'm not a fan of white wine. So, I don't really drink it that often, but I don't know.
It's
White
really,
wine.
There's no fruity taste at all.
I'm catching that up.
Right?
Yes, it's dry.
You're going to find, actually, it does have some fruit to it. It is very buttery. It's a richer white, but it does have more of like the peach pear undertones to it. And it is one of those things. I understand people that don't like white wines. I'm not usually a red wine drinker. I will drink my red wines with meals that are appropriate, or if somebody has something that's amazing that I haven't tried, I'm like, heck yeah, I'll try that. But your preference is important, but it's also good to graduate from it. And then you go all the way to the top and you like something, and you go all the way back and you start at the bottom again. So don't just go like to Cab and then right to a Chardonnay. Like I would suggest going to a Cab and then starting with a Riesling. And the Riesling is like that starter wine, right? Like you're gonna try something, the first wine is probably like a Chateau Ste. Michelle, Riesling that's sweet, and that you get flavors from it. And you're like, oh, this tastes like a dessert or like a drink from a bar that somebody put together. But there are so many different types of Chardonnays or Rieslings, and so you then go from what you know and you expand to like a German Riesling, or you go to a French Alsace, whatever it may be. You're going to try something that's a little bit different to pull you outside of your comfort zone. So I definitely say, even if you don't love something, keep trying, because you're not a quitter.
And what are you drinking tonight, Brie?
I am drinking, it's also Chronic Cellars. It is their Chardonnay-based sparkling wine. And this is called Spritz and Giggles. Great name. Great name.
Yeah, I've got to try
Super
that one.
fun label. One great thing about sparkling is I know a lot of people like to put juice with it. I say shame on them. I know mimosas are very popular, but when it comes to sparkling, when it comes to sparkling wine, this is cast me off for me because it goes with French fries, it goes with potato chips, it goes with everything fried. And so if you're looking for something to pair with fried, go with sparkling. It kind of breaks that down. Yeah.
That is actually interesting. I have to try it now.
And the other one that is sparkling, well, at least to the tone, it has a little bit of effervescence to it, so it has a little bit of a spritz. Moscato.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people like the flat Moscatos, but the ones that have just a little bit of the bubble, that's fantastic with something that's very salty. So you could go with like your Asian food. Again, potato chips kind of pair it really well. And so it's kind of fun to kind of play with those with different food items.
Nice. Well, on that note, cheers, everybody. Oh,
Refill. Refill.
We're like, wait, it's so good.
And you guys are worried about
cheers to learning about all of our fun,
Cheers.
delicious wines.
Oh!
It's not me this
There's no party foul on my watch. I'll be right here.
I'm not moving.
You, Sarah.
Why you're not
Am I supposed to lick your fingers?
I just don't want it to go on the carpet and stain. Hiding behind
I'm
it.
hiding behind the sheet. And now I'm here. And now I'm sleeping. And now you see me.
Now you don't.
The beauty shields, but your filter? Your filter?
It's your filter. There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Ugh.
So, in the spirit of Halloween in a couple of weeks, oh my gosh. In like
A couple days?
Like
in
a week
8
from
days.
8 days?
So, tis the season to Halloween in 8 days. We figured we wanted a spooky real estate topic. So we figured, I mean, there's nothing scarier than Zestimates, right? So that is this episode's topic of choice. So many people very much dislike Zillow. They have lots of negative things to say about Zillow. We, as Key Realty Group, freaking love Zillow because it's usually inaccurate and it's usually not as up to date. So when we have clients that are searching on Zillow and they bring us information about a property they want, we are able to, in live time, look up what the true facts and information are about the property. We can look at whether or not it's already gone under contract. We can see if and when it already sold. So it's really fabulous for us that our clients love Zillow because it's a great consumer-facing website. But it's not always up to date and accurate. And it's not Zillow's fault. It's because here in Alaska, we are a non-disclosure state. That means we don't actually disclose our sales prices. We don't tell the municipality how much our homes sell for. We don't tell the borough. We tell nobody. So Zillow doesn't actually have a way to get that accurate data because we keep it a secret. And the only thing that's actually recorded publicly is the mortgage deed. So if you have a client who buys a $300,000 home, they only finance $250,000 of it. The only thing the public has access to is that $250,000 amount. So it causes those inaccuracies for the third-party sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, all the other great companies that are out there on the consumer-facing side of things. So we love Zillow. Estimates are scary. 'Tis the season of Halloween, but I love Zillow. Thank you, Zillow.
I
I know
also
Sarah,
love Zillow.
Yep, Kimberly loves Zillow too. You have a fun story about Zillow too, and why you love it.
So, well, I love Zillow because I was a consumer, and that's how it introduced me into real estate, was my love and my passion for going online and looking at homes and seeing the potential. So yeah, that was my entry love for real estate was Zillow. But there are some features on Zillow that things like the MLS doesn't have. So if I need if I need to look at a property in a neighborhood and on the MLS I can't zoom in on the map because I don't have the address yet, on Zillow I can just zoom in on that map and then click on it and find the old listing information.
Like
So-
from the street view? you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
it's great.
That's awesome.
I pride myself on being an excellent cyber stalker, and Zillow is one of my really, really awesome tools.
Nice.
So, but what scares me, not so much like the Zestimates, but Amazon's considering getting into the real estate market now,
Because they're qualified to sell.
and they are going to automate CMAs. They're going to have automatic realtors. They're going to have lenders. It's a little scary.
Is the house gonna come in a cardboard box?
That I get
with
to
a
unwrap.
smile on
Yes,
it?
with a smile on the face.
How are they going to
And if you buy a house
Drone
on
delivery.
smile.amazon.com,
the drone?
does a portion of your purchase go to a charity
Hold
of
on,
your
here's a
choice?
question. Here's a question. If you're not satisfied, do you get your money back? Like
Yes!
You're gonna be there in return. You have to drop it off at UPS.
Right,
I'm not
for
sure.
And is it free closing costs if you spend more than $25?
Oh, I like this.
See,
This
we
is-
got all the
see,
marketing.
now
We
it
did
is.
this.
I would.
We
can
can
work
work
on
on
it.
marketing
We need to
department
preach our
for Amazon.
ideas.
I would back up on what you were saying with those estimates because I had one seller who reached out to me recently and was like, hey, I looked up my house on Zestimates. This is what they're quoting it at, and I'm thinking about listing my house. I have ideas that I want to do, and I was like, okay. I'm looking at his house, and I was like, well, let me run my comps and let me see what the comparables are, and let's go from that. And he gives me this number, and I'm like, okay. I'm doing the comps, and I'm getting nowhere near this number. Like, it was a huge difference of like $50,000.
Whoa.
And I was like, okay. So I'm like looking at the comps, and I look at the comps that the Zillow, was giving, and I'm like, the comparables were nowhere near to what the house actually was, which was like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage on an acre of land, and it was like, here's a 5-bedroom house with like 3 bedrooms and all this other stuff. Like, they were not anywhere close to it at all, or they were outdated or newer, remodeled and just built versus this house that was in like the 80s. And I was like, okay, that's not comparables at all, but here, let me show you the breakdowns of what is. At the end of it, he was like, I'm glad I went to a realtor to get that real cost, to find the real cost, and now I know what I can and can't do. So it really helped him make that decision. Do I want to sell now where the market is now, or should I sit and wait and see what happens?
Yeah, because even though we're in a seller's market, one of the biggest mistakes right now are people getting excited and then listing their home for more than what it should be listed at, and then it just sits there, which
Yeah.
is really sad.
And you don't want that.
No.
So he's like, well, nope, I know what I'm doing now. And I'm like, okay.
So glad you know what you're doing.
I love this. I'm going to wear this every day with my clients. This is my serious talking face. But it's going to be great.
Positive sunshine side.
But you need to remember there's cost.
Christmas.
But we
How
can
you
try to
change-
negotiate. I'm bringing this to work.
So
Next time,
it's a
beware.
Beware of the hat.
I think it's something that realtors can benefit from because I will always have a job because they'll need me.
That's true.
That's true. They'll
Thank
need
you,
those
Zillow.
realtors.
Hey, if they ever figure out the algorithm, we spitball so well, we can all just go work for Amazon.
There we go. We got Amazon.
Backup.
Backup's backup.
So I'm not a realtor, but I'm the transaction coordinator. I used Zillow for a year searching for homes. That's how I found MJ. And then found the girls. Or the girls came to me.
Yeah. We're like, come down.
It's all became family.
Yeah. I do use Zillow though. I do stock Zillow to put into MLS.
Right?
And I
It's
don't
all-
have a property disclosure.
We never give you listings without property disclosure.
So, it's a good tool sometimes. It's not always accurate. I don't know. I got nothing.
It's so good though for consumers because, like you said, like you found me on there, which I'm
got the
super thankful
reviews.
for. Yeah, you have all the reviews on there, and it's true. So if somebody writes me, you know, a bad review, which will never happen, but if somebody were to write a bad review about somebody, you can't hide it.
It's there.
Whatever is posted stays for
You don't
life.
get to
and
delete
it
it.
sticks with you.
You don't
You
get to change
can't
your
delete
name.
it. You can't
It's
edit it.
license based. Like,
Everything is there to speak the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and that's why I love Zillow, because we as a team have, you know, 50, 60 something reviews from all the clients that we've served, and they're all 5-star reviews. And so there's no better way to say to a client who's interviewing you for the opportunity to earn their business than, hey, rather than me awkwardly try to brag about how kick-ass I am, please go out to my profile and read for yourself what our past clients have said about me. Read my bio, learn about me, and interview me for the opportunity. So I love Zillow for that, and I would have never met Renee if it wasn't for Zillow. So Zillow's my BFF because she's the best thing since sliced bread in my business. So thankful for Zillow.
yes.
It does. And it's funny you guys say that because really what your roles are is to be like community and a friend and trustworthy. And we look at the website, or all websites, and we're like, okay, this is good information. But it's that trust but verify.
Yeah.
And you are the verification. And so that's the good part. You are that's the bad devil. Like,
Me?
it tips you. And it's the good devil.
Got one on each shoulder.
Got one on each shoulder. I'm going to keep it real here. That's you guys. So.
How about for you in the mortgage industry?
Oh, that feeds right into Credit Karma. When it comes to qualifying, we have a lot of people that say, oh, well, my Credit Karma says my credit score is this. I've seen it be off by 70 points.
Wow.
Which is a big
Big
shift.
difference.
And it could just be reporting timeframes. I want to point that out, right? Because Credit Karma is a buying site. They are tracking your trends of what you buy and not really how accurately you're paying what you're supposed to pay. And so they don't have that depth of a FICO score or going through a different service in the way that we do credit. Does not have as much knowledge. The good thing about Credit Karma is it gives a benefit to say to our clients, like, what does Credit Karma say in regards to what you owe? Like, what are you seeing pop up? If you see something all of a sudden your credit score drops 70 points, you want to look to see if somebody, it's a quick way to glance and see if somebody has your name, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the thing that we always say is if you're concerned about your credit score and there's a big discrepancy, pull out a free credit report. You get one a year, and you're able to kind of deep dive in and see what the issue is. So it's good to kind of follow and see where you're going or how much you owe on a credit card if you don't know your balances. Most of that is accurate, but the score can be off a lot. Yeah.
So Credit Karma is a specific website,
Correct.
right? So what about the ones that are tied to credit cards and bank accounts that are like built into
Like Capital
the
One that
app?
has the FICO.
Same idea. They're
Okay.
really following their spend and what you're doing with their cards. They don't have as much access to everything that you have debt with. And
But
so
it's
we do see it off. I don't see it as far off, but I also don't have a lot of people coming to me and saying that, you know, well, my
Capital
score
One
on,
told me this.
yeah, they don't. I mean,
Yeah.
most of them will say, well, Credit Karma says. So that's what we hear most frequently.
Credit Karma is the big one.
Yes, yeah, that's the one that they instantly go. And I've had quite a few. Be surprised how many people don't have credit. Like they want to live off the grid. And good on them. That's awesome that they want to do that. But if they want a federally backed loan, then the federal government wants to make sure that they are paying their bills, right? Like, they don't know what the risk level is. There is, at that point, not having a risk level is scarier than knowing somebody's not going to pay their bills, right?
We just went through this. It was a hairball at first, but
it worked out.
Girl, next week.
Yeah, it works out.
But it shows how important loan officers are, because then you can educate the consumer. You can help them with that credit repair if it's needed.
ready.
Correct.
You can educate them on what they need to do and what revolving utilization means and what to pay things down to get in that best buying power position possible or refi position.
Well, most of the time when somebody asks, like, well, what's my credit score? I don't know if my credit will allow me to buy a house. And it's like, well, it most likely will allow you to buy a house, but it's going to change your interest rate, which can then change you owing hundreds of thousands of dollars more on a home over the life of a loan than if you cleaned up a couple credit cards and paid those off. And so it is. I think that that's my favorite part of the job, is the education part. And we do have tools, like at First Rate, we've got a toolkit of amazing stuff. We have a credit repair consultant that we work with. We also have something that I can pinpoint and tell you which, like, 4 cards you could pay down, and then we could potentially see a shift up. So you're not having to pay off everything to, like, throw down some money here. Did that change it? Throw down some money here. Did that change it? Because that's not fun either.
Yeah.
So, at least I can be like, hey, if you pay down your whatever it may be, your Lowe's card, then you would see a bump up by this many points. So it's really cool to be able to see that and pinpoint. Give them financial advice that will help them for their life.
I know you definitely helped my buyer with that, so it was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cheers to Zillow and Credit Karma. We love you both dearly. Thank you for your support and keeping us in jobs that we love.
Don't spill it in
I think the best part, though, if you think about it, is it's making clients be interested.
Yeah,
You're
and
going
ask
to
the
reach,
questions.
You're going to reach clients that may have never even thought about owning a home, because maybe that's not something that their family ever did above them, but they're like, now I can go to a site and fall in love with something and know what I like. It creates style. It creates, like, a vision board.
So,
and that's really good.
One of the saddest things that I've ever heard was, and it wasn't my personal experience, but somebody else was telling me about how they had a conversation with somebody who was a renter and had empowered them to realize that they can own a home. And the person, it had just never crossed their mind. Nobody in their family has ever owned a home. They've never been able to save up that amount of money. They've never been able to get a deposit. And owning a home was not ever in the cards for them. And then a realtor literally was like, why not? Why can't you? Tell me why.
Yeah.
And then there was, this epiphany, and they're like, I need to go talk to a lender. I'm going to be a homeowner. So I don't even remember who I can credit for this amazing story, but in me and my personal experience, I was just like, I need to empower people. I need to take charge. I need to tell people that they can, because so many people have told them their whole life that they can't.
Yeah.
And when people get declined, they don't realize that there's other lenders out there that may have different overlays, rules
Different
and regulations,
programs,
programs.
That is a big thing to focus on too, because what we have for guidelines and overlays, guidelines are what they are, right? So whatever is set by government loans or by Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, those are their guidelines. Your overlays are what your lender has. And so having a lender that is willing to kind of take risk on somebody and is willing to work with them is fantastic. I know we work with quite a few lenders, but one of our lenders has an amazing VA program. And they have an entire dedicated staff of that, like being able to find information for them fast. They do education weekly for us as originators, so that we can be in the know of everything that's changed. Because a guideline can change every week, and so can an overlay. So it's good to know what is available and what programs work or may not work. And most of the time something can work. We just want to make sure that it's fiscally the right place for that buyer to be.
I have the MRP designation, the Military Relocation Professional designation. I'm also the local community outreach for VA Rep, which is Veterans Affairs of Real Estate Professionals. So when I went to the VA Rep conference last week, I actually got to meet Jeff Wilson. and Jeff Wilson is now Caliber,
Mhm.
but previously he sat on the VA board for years, and he had a hand and say in writing the actual VA guidelines through the Regional
Wow.
Loan Center.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is
Yes.
amazing.
So I was going through a class to earn my MVHC certification, which is Military and Veterans Housing Certification, so that I can teach classes to other industry professionals, whether it be other realtors or loan officers, where I can actually educate my peers and my industry partners on how the VA loan works, the common myths and misconceptions about the VA loan. And so Jeff was in that class, and I just got to pick his brain, like, hey, I remember when this changed back in the day. Why did it change? And like he told me the reasons why it changed. And Latrice and I wish Latrice was here tonight. I miss her. But anyways, Latrice had the opportunity to do a train the trainer on Jager the other day, where she got to train her fellow service members on the VA benefit, how entitlement works, the eligibility,
amazing.
the benefits of it. And with my certification, she asked me to jump in and co-train with her. And I was just astonished at the people in the room who had bought a house before but were told not to use their VA.
Wow.
Or had bought a home and didn't even understand the process. Who are in the process of buying a home right now and didn't even know what earnest money was.
Yeah.
Like they didn't know why they had to have it because they weren't educated on that. And it very well could be because that realtor just has not received that education.
Right.
So I'm wicked excited about earning that because then I can teach our industry partners, and we can all do a better job serving the service member.
Yeah.
That's why I'm lucky
It's-
to have you. Because like the deal that I had, there was questions that we had that we didn't know whether it was right or not and what the
Oh,
service member paid.
David's, yeah, that was a
I
fun
was
hot
like,
mess.
okay, wait, hold on. You can do this.
Yeah.
So
No, it's good
It's really
education to
nice.
have, especially up here in Alaska.
Mhm.
You know, when you're in an area where you have so many military families that come up, to get on board and be ahead of that so that they know. And a lot of times, if they've purchased a home somewhere else, they don't know that they can purchase a second home.
Mhm.
And that is a big part of it too. Like you can use your entire entitlement,
Mhm.
and that is huge. That would make a big difference for a family because they know they could always rent a home here. If they ever
Yeah.
left, it's a great property. We are
Yeah.
slow and steady with our values.
oh yeah.
So
Just
it's
going on up,
yeah,
yep.
it just goes upward. There has not been like a downward in Alaska the way that
Where's
you
the
will see
wood?
down
Knock
there.
on wood.
Oh yeah.
I'm remembering back to 1984 when I was not born.
You're correct.
I'm
You are
not-
correct in saying that. The oil industry,
Training.
which I think what it did was it taught our the people that lived here
It
not
trained.
Yes.
Well, they
It
changed a whole
trained-
bunch of laws.
Well, not just that,
Because
but
of
it trained them. It trained the mindset. Like
Yeah.
it really did. Like don't do an overabundance of growth. That's one thing I've loved about this state is everything has been very slow and steady, but it's consistent, and that's the nice part of having the community that we do. But having the VA education is phenomenal, and I'm very proud of you, and I'm proud of Latrice for doing that
She
and
did a
expanding
fabulous
that.
job.
Yeah.
She has 3 new clients as a result.
Yes.
And she has a referral
I love
of
it.
another realtor that I know that's down in the Shepherd Air Force Base area in Wichita Falls. They're about to PCS next week, and we were able to get them in the hands of another MRP certified realtor that's going to be able to help them use their VA down there.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's
That's
great.
amazing. I feel like she needs to do these like quarterly
Yes.
because it seems like just the
Benefiting.
education that you guys provided has empowered people to become
Step up.
homeowners. And
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
We're super
That's
excited.
fantastic.
So that is the end of this evening's episode. So we're so glad that we had our wine whiz with us this evening, and we're very grateful for the partnership we have with you. And this was really a lot of fun. And
I need that one.
you need,
She's like, gotta try the wines. Gotta go through
Good.
the-
Can I try some white?
to order it.
too?
Yes.
Which
Yeah,
one?
I love that you're going opposite direction.
I
That's my
am.
favorite.
I really am.
You're gonna want to go down.
Let's
So
do
thank you
this.
all so much for watching. If you could please like us on Facebook at Key Realty Group.
Oh wait.
Oh.
I don't want
And then follow our Rewind show. And if you like, share, and comment, you will have a chance to win one of Key Realty Group's house wines that we all actually bottled ourselves. And
Yes, we did.
had really funny bloopers. So rewind a
that.
couple episodes and watch
Check
that
that
one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have this posted on our Facebook here shortly. If you guys can please like, share, and comment, we'd love to enter you in the drawing for our house wine. It's delicious,
It is.
and we don't need to drink it all. We need you to help us.
Too many bottles.
So again, we're the Key Realty Group. Our co-host this evening was Bree Brophy with First Rate. So cheers, everybody, and happy Halloween.
Thank you. Happy Halloween. Thank you, Brie.
Yes. And that's a wrap. I finished my
That's a
right
wrap.
shot. It's like,
Yeah.